Presenting in a second or third language can be challenging, but time and time again, I see the same mistakes being made. And in this video, I want to highlight 3 common issues I see and give you some guidance as to how to avoid them in your future presentations. Hello, I'm Janice, presentation skills trainer and coach based in Madrid, and I help non-native speakers of English develop the skills and mindset they need to become excellent and, above all, confident presenters. The first mistake I often see people making is not using enough signposting phrases. Signposting phrases are those phrases that guide the audience through your presentation, telling them, for example, what's coming next, such as, let's now turn to the next point. These phrases are also referred to as transitional or linking phrases, and they give structure and space to your speaking. If you tend to use the same words or phrases as you move between points in your presentation, it's time to expand your vocabulary here. I suggest you aim to learn just 2 or 3 signposting phrases at a time and make a conscious effort to include them in your next presentation. You can download a list of signposting phrases from my website in the Language for Presentations section, and you can see the link to that below this video. The second mistake is using filler words or sounds too much. Common filler words are those such as okay, well, or so. Filler sounds might be or They tend to be used unconsciously when you're searching for a word or a phrase. While native speakers also use fillers, I observe my non-native English-speaking clients using them more heavily, which is understandable if they're not very confident in their English, but they're distracting. So what can you do to reduce and eventually eliminate those fillers? First, get some feedback to identify them. Another strategy for raising your awareness of which fillers you're using is to record yourself giving a presentation. I know this is uncomfortable for many people, but it really is one of the most effective tools for identifying where you need to improve. The next step is to replace your filler word or sound with silence. You can then use the silence, the pause, to think. Generally, presenters don't pause enough in presentations, but audiences need pauses to give them space to assimilate what the presenter has just said. The added bonus here is that when you pause, especially if you do it with a calm energy, you come across as a more confident speaker. The third and final mistake I want to speak about today is ending your presentation abruptly or suddenly. I'm not sure whether this is because inexperienced presenters want their presentation to be over as quickly as possible. It happens. Or whether they just haven't learned how to end effectively. But to suddenly stop speaking is not the way to end a presentation. When you end suddenly, the audience subconsciously feels a disappointment. It's like an anticlimax to your presentation performance. To end your presentation well, your audience needs to be reminded of the key points via a brief summary. The audience also want to need clarity around what they should take away from your presentation. And you can do this by providing them with what I call a conclusion. A conclusion contains the presentation's closing message and should follow on smoothly from the summary. So those are 3 common mistakes I often see non-native speakers making when presenting: not using enough signposting phrases, overusing filler sounds and words, and ending abruptly. Are you guilty of making these mistakes? If so, you can take some simple steps to address them, to improve your performance, and to build your self-confidence as a non-native speaker presenting in English.